Running your business completely out of your head absolutely works, right up until it doesn't. At some point, all of the sticky notes, the millions of notebooks, and maybe spreadsheets all over the place start to feel chaotic and overwhelming. And that's when some type of structure absolutely matters. Now, you may have noticed that we're in a different place than we normally are for my Trello videos, my Trello tutorials. And that's because this week, instead of doing a step-by-step tutorial, we're going to have a little heart-to-heart chat about that question that I think is probably burning in the back of your mind, whether you have acknowledged it or not. And that is, does Trello actually make my business better? But before we dive into this, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a tutorial or upload. Okay, so let's talk about it. The reality is that a lot of us kind of fell into our business at first, right? We started doing something as a hobby, and then it kind of became a side hustle. But as your business grows and as you take it more seriously and you want other people to take it more seriously, reality check, okay? Winging it works up to a point, and then you need structure, some kind of structure. Is Trello the right structure? I don't know. And that's where we're going to kind of talk about it a little bit, and you can make the decision for yourself. Because ultimately, I'm not here to tell you what tool to use. I'm not here to tell you that Trello is the only answer. I'm here to show you how to use Trello better if you've decided that Trello is the one that you're going to use. So let's talk about what Trello does for you and why it's a great kind of starter tool to build that sort of structure and get out of your head and onto paper, as it were. There are other tools that can do similar things. So as I'm talking about this right now, in this part of the conversation, you can substitute Trello for any other tool that you might be considering. But my guess is that if you're watching my video, you searched Trello to begin with, so you're already kind of leaning in that direction. So I'm going to lean a little bit harder in that direction as well, because personally, I agree. I think it's a great starter tool for solo small business owners when you're just trying to go from sticky notes and spreadsheets into something that's a little bit more structured. Now, granted, if you are using spreadsheets or Google Sheets or whatever, and there is some level of structure there, even if it's not automated or super smooth and sleek, you're still doing great, because some structure is always better than no structure. But personally, I think that Trello is just kind of a step up from the structure that you can get in spreadsheets and Google Sheets. Now, I realize that spreadsheets can use formulas and can connect across sheets and things like that. But honestly, getting to that level of proficiency with a tool like Excel or Google Sheets, it's harder than Trello. So if you're watching this because you don't feel like a super techie person, then moving into Trello is actually easier for you. It's much more simple for setup and for maintenance down the line than using formulas and things like that. Now, can Trello get more complicated? Absolutely, but you don't have to start there, okay? Trello is also fantastic, and I think has a leg up on spreadsheets in that it is more flexible. Let's say you start out thinking that you want your lists to be as simple as, to do, doing, done, and maybe like a backlog or something like that or brain dump of ideas that you have that you don't have time to start with yet. It's a great place to start, just to get things out of your brain and into a structure. A structure, by the way, that can remind you. That's something that spreadsheets can't do, at least not to my knowledge. So when you're set up in a system like Trello, you can put a due date on something and a due date reminder so that you don't always have to go remember and check all of your cards to say, oh, what was I supposed to be working on? The things that are super important are able to be popped up to you on your phone, in an email, whatever it might be, right? So that's already a huge leg up, because it's like having an assistant that's going to remind you and be like, hey, don't forget to, whatever it is, right? But let's say you've built it out that way, and then you start to realize, oh, well, there are some other stages in there, because doing is very broad. There's a lot of steps that might be incorporated in that, and you might not want to have all of your projects sitting in the same list for weeks on end. The flexibility that you're going to need as you start moving from no structure to structure is way more important. It's way more valuable than you may realize. You're not going to know exactly what process and what structure is going to work for you the first time that you try setting something up. So having a tool that is flexible to allow you to change it up, or what we say in like the techie world, to iterate on your original design and be able to easily and flexibly change things out so that you can try something new next week or next month or whatever until you see what works for you, and then you kind of solidify it. And then maybe someday down the line, you move into an even more structured tool than Trello, because now your process is so defined and so consistent. So that's why I love Trello. There are other tools that are similar, but there are reasons why I choose Trello over those other tools. So that's what I want to talk about just real quick here. This is not, by the way, sponsored in any way. Trello is a tool that I've used for a very long time, and I've seen it work in this way for a lot of people. And so I just want to put your mind at ease if you're feeling hesitant, or, maybe feeling a little bit paralyzed taking the plunge and actually jumping into a tool like Trello. There's really no risk, okay? You can start in a completely free workspace, so there's no cost. Takes some time to set something up, but if you start with something simple, even the cost of your time at the beginning can be very minimal. And then you just start using it and see how it feels. So I just want to put your mind at ease that, if you're thinking about it at all, if you're going so far as to watch this video, here's your permission. Jump in, give it a try, okay? And here's the few reasons why I personally choose Trello and recommend Trello over tools like Asana or Monday.com for sure. Don't get me started on Monday. Way too much tool if you're a really small business, for one. Nowhere near as flexible. But so let's just talk about it. So here are the 3 areas where I feel like Trello really does just lead the pack. It kind of beats the others hands down, in my opinion. Number 1 is price point. Because like I said a minute ago, you can do a lot of stuff in Trello for free without paying for anything. I used Trello for free for almost a decade before I got to a point where it made sense for me to upgrade. Okay, a decade. And if you've watched any of the videos on the channel, you know that when I choose a new tool, I am hardcore in that tool. And I still, for a decade before I had to pay for it. So that's a huge one for me. Ease of use is the second reason. It's by far the most user-friendly, intuitive system. Now, are there things that you might not be able to figure out, like how to set up certain types of automations and things like that? Sure. That's why my channel exists, because there are things like that that you're not necessarily going to figure out on your own. There are things that I don't figure out on my own, and I go to other creators or other Trello users to get their advice and their help and guidance, right? But to just jump into the tool and start using it, I don't know a platform that's more user-friendly to just jump in and try stuff. It's very difficult to break something. You can mess around with things and, create boards and do all this kind of stuff and really just play around very easily with very little learning curve, okay? If you're at that point and you're feeling a little bit nervous still, I'm going to link. I have a playlist that I've started. I haven't quite finished it, but a playlist that I've started for like Trello Essentials for Beginners. I'm going to link that here and at the very end so that you can go watch that and start it, and it'll give you just that extra little confidence that you need to jump in. But once you do, you're going to realize that I'm right. Ease of use, hands down, so easy. And then the last thing is just customizability. And I don't even know if that's a word. But I don't just mean the fact that you can customize it with your workflow, because you can. And absolutely, that is one of the ways that it is a huge leader in this industry, in my opinion. But I'm even just talking about the aesthetic, the way that it looks. I absolutely love that I can create a Trello board and put a background on the board that has my dog's face on it, right? It just makes me smile every time I go into that board and puts me in a good mood. That's such a small, simple thing, but so many of the other platforms don't have anything like that, where you can bring your own personality and your own branding, and you can use color in such a way that it really just feels like your unique space that you've created. A lot of other tools may have a way that you can kind of change the branding of the exterior of the account and things like that, and that's great. But I love that Trello allows you to board by board and even card by card and list by list choose colors and theming that feels like you. Because when it's a tool that you enjoy spending time in, it's a tool you'll actually use. And that kind of leads me to the last point that I want to make here. So I've told you why you need structure in general, some kind of structure. and why it can't just be in your head at a certain point anymore. I've told you why I think Trello is the best entry tool into creating that structure in your business. But ultimately, you are the decision maker in your business. So if you're feeling resistance to Trello in particular and something else feels more aligned, now I'm going to give a caveat here and say, not if you're just feeling like you don't want structure at all, like you just want to wing it and let everything be chaotic and crazy, because I have to disagree with you there. I believe 100% that you have to have some kind of structure, some kind of process. But if Trello in particular isn't feeling like the thing for you, then don't use it. Go find something that does feel for you the way that Trello feels for me. I would assume you can feel the passion that I have for this tool through this video. So if you find something that makes you feel like this, that's the tool for you, okay? Because the ultimate reality is that if you're forcing yourself into any specific tool, it's not going to end up working for you. It needs to be something that you buy into 100%, that you love in some way. Otherwise, you're absolutely going to struggle. But like I said, if you're unsure, or if you're watching this video because you're thinking Trello is the thing, or you've created an account, but it just hasn't really gone anywhere for you, give it some time. Give it 6 months. Really dive into Trello. Build out even just one board just to see it work in one area of your business, one process, maybe your content creation, or maybe just your productivity, your to-do list, and making sure that you stay on top of things. Try one thing, give it 6 months, and see how you feel about it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, Trello isn't magic. I know sometimes I might make it seem like it is, but no tool is. The real magic comes in having some structure in your business instead of trying to do everything out of your head. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I hope you liked it, and more importantly, I hope you found it helpful. If you did, make sure you like this video, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, all the things to help grow this channel and make this community something that I can give even more of my time and attention to. And if you really liked this video, share it with somebody else that you think will find it helpful as well. The online tools for your business do not need to be complicated and overwhelming. It's time to let it be easy.